What's going on, everybody? Y'all already know the vibes, man. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my top 5 SMG players of all time in Call of Duty. Coming in at number 5, guys, I have to give it to Attach, man. He once was the young gun in the scene. He really blew up in Advanced Warfare, where he was the youngest player. I think he was the youngest player to win a Call of Duty championships. He did that alongside Clay, Replays, and JCap in Denial. But he just blew up on the scene. You know, one of the best SMG players of all time, in my opinion. And you have to give credit where credit is due. Now, Dill is my guy. He was a little shit back in the day, but he's really matured. And became just a very well-rounded SMG player from the early days. He obviously has a lot of talent. He has a lot of knowledge for Call of Duty, especially if we're talking SND. I think Dylan, if you gave me a situation where I had to pick one player, not me, but one player to win a 1v1 for $1 million, I'm picking Attach over damn near everyone. For some reason, he doesn't lose his ones. He does not lose his ones. He is one of the best S&D SMG players. Wow, that's a tongue twister. But he's just had a lot of success throughout his career. Like I said, in AW, he did win Call of Duty championships. I teamed with him. We won, I think it was, 3 events throughout that year on FaZe. So he won 4 events in AW, obviously Black Ops 3 and IW, but we had our ups and downs. But he was a menace on the map. Dylan was great in both of those games. It didn't matter the game mode. Like I said, he was very good in Respawn, very good in S&D. And then in World War II, he got back to his glory days, capturing another win, a part of FaZe Clan. They beat Optic at the Stage 1 playoffs. One of the best series of Call of Duty of all time, in my opinion, where Dylan had the insane 1v3 clutch on London Docks. He ran through the artillery. I don't know who he paid off on the developer side of things, because I still don't understand how he did that. And he's just overall been a very consistent force when it comes to that SMG role. I mean, from top to bottom, you know what you're going to get out of Attach. He's had a lot of success in his career. You know, he is one of the stars on Minnesota Rocker, and people, I think, overlook him. I think they do overlook him just because he's been in the scene for so long. He isn't the flashiest SMG player by any means, and he's not the most aggressive, but he knows how to play his role and how to play it well. Number 4 all time has to be John for me, guys. And if you're new to the Call of Duty scene, it might be a name that you've heard of, but you haven't really seen much of him. And that's just because recently he is working his way back into the league. He couldn't play last year, and I'm not going to go into that. You know, I don't know all the info behind it, essentially. But John is another SMG player through and through. He's always been that submachine gun player, that aggressive, in-your-face submachine gun player throughout his entire career. I remember watching John before I even attempted to switch to Call of Duty. This is when I was still playing Halo, back in Black Ops 2, and John was regarded as one of the best subs in that game. And he's just consistently been great. I know he has this stigma of he's really fucking good at Treyarch games and other developers, he's kind of so-so. But once again, when you look at his highs, right, and his peak as an SMG player, you realize there's a short list of players that are above him when it comes to more success. You know, playing at that high level, whether you want to talk about statistics and just overall consistency. So he was great in Black Ops 2. We go to Black Ops 3. Do I even need to speak on Black Ops 3, John? Envy did win COD champs that year. They also won the, I believe it was the playoffs. It was one of the stages. But John and this Envy team really took it to the Optic Dynasty. And at the end of the game, people were saying John was the best player in the game. And if you didn't think he was the best player, he was the best SMG player in the game. He was a huge reason why Envy won that COD Champs. He was just fantastic. He really was from top to bottom. Even when you go into Infinite Warfare, they had great success. Not so much in the beginning of the game, but once you got towards the second half, 2 champs, John really turned it up. And I mean, I thought he was solid throughout the entirety of Infinite Warfare. I think it was a couple other players on his team that improved. They probably should have been back-to-back Call of Duty champions. You know, they lost 2 best of 5s to that Optic Gaming Dynasty NIW, guys. They had beat them in the winners bracket finals. And once again, John, he was fantastic. Like, I know I could really explain what he does, but John's just a player that you know what you're going to get out of him. And I still think he has some left in the tank. But moving on to number 3 all time in the SMG role, guys, I have his teammate once upon a time, and that is none other than Apathy. Apathy is another player who's been in the scene for a very long time. Whether you call him Big Donk, you know what I'm saying? App is another fantastic SMG player, and I'm gonna keep saying fantastic because, you know, I call it how I see it at the end of the day. He has been around for a long time. He's had great success ever since, I think, the first time he was playing, even before I was watching COD, and I know he was winning tournaments. I really took notice on App, though, in Call of Duty Ghosts, where he made a name for himself on FaZe. And then you have AW, where App also won the first event of Advanced Warfare on FaZe alongside a Sensor. And I think it was Slasher. Yeah, it was Slasher. Wow, what a team, by the way. He had a little bit of a drought in AW. It wasn't his best game by any means. I think he was solid. You know, he probably wasn't placing and having the success that he would have hoped for, especially after the previous 2 years. But once again, Black Ops 3 is where we saw a different beast come out when we're talking about Apathy. In the beginning of Black Ops 3, he had a rough stretch. He did. Then he found himself on Envy. And I just want to talk about how pros perceived App. In the beginning of Black Ops 3, damn near, you know, almost the first half, App didn't even qualify for the Pro League. Okay, but he was such a hot commodity. He was picked up on that Envy team, even though he hadn't qualified for the Pro League at this time. And once he was able to team alongside Slasher, alongside Cap, alongside John, really have the right group of guys, the right makeup of a team, he took off. And he was also alongside John in that Black Ops 3 Call of Duty Championships win. And a lot of people said that him and John were the top 2 subs in the game at that time. Envy had both of them. App is a little bit more of a streakier player than some other SMGs on this list. But when App's at his best, he is damn near unbeatable. Okay. App has very high peaks in each of these Call of Duty games. He might not be as consistent when we're talking about playing at that high level, but you have to give him love because when he's on, he's on. Like I said, he won COD Champs with Envy in Black Ops 3. He got second in IW alongside that same Envy team. And App was, you know, he was he was amongst the best SMG players in IW. And then he won another Call of Duty championships in World War II. He beat the kid. I'm still tight about that. I was teaming with him in the beginning of World War II. And once again, we had a very poor start to the year. We did. Apathy was the best player on our team, but you know, we weren't a good team. And when you're not a good team, it doesn't matter how talented you are. It's going to be hard to look good. But the signature Apathy move, man, once you get through the first half of the year, he just turns it up a couple notches. And that's like his MO. You know, it takes him a little bit longer, I think, than other players, other SMGs to really understand the game. But once he does, he hits a different limit. There's been multiple times where App's been considered one of the best SMG players in Call of Duty. It doesn't matter the title. He has multiple major wins across multiple titles. He does have 2 COD champs victories under his belt as well. He has a 2nd in IW. So number 3, I feel like you have to give it up to him. You just do. Now this is where it gets interesting. And I think I might get a lot of hate for this one. And this can be fair. But you know, I got to give it a hot take. I have to give it a hot take. My number 2 SMG player of all time, guys. Of all time. I got Simp. I have Simp. And let me tell you why. Okay. Yeah, Simp is a very new player in the scene. Okay. Very new. He came into the scene second half of Black Ops 4, right? Completely transformed that E-United team. Completely transformed them. You know, they were very average without him. He joins their team. He's putting up fucking record numbers, event after event. They won 2 events in Black Ops 4, the 2 biggest ones, playoffs and champs. He won champs in his rookie year. He got what, I think 2 MVPs in Black Ops 4, 2 of both events they won. He got MVP. The kid is he's just built different. And you can use the argument against me that I talk about, right? The longevity, the being consistent across multiple titles, and that's fair. And maybe I do have him just a little too high for the time being. But guys, I don't think I've seen another SMG player besides SKump have events like this at the level that he's playing. You know, he still is new. Black Ops 4 second half of the season. You have Modern Warfare where they got 2nd at COD champs. They won multiple events throughout that. But once again, the kid just doesn't miss. You know, he has been arguably the best SMG player since he got into the league. You know, maybe right now in Cold War, you can argue BZ being the best. But since Simp has been in the league, he's been a top 2 at the very worst. Top 2 SMG player in the game. Now going in the Cold War, they won the first major. Once again, Simp, just unbelievable stats. And I haven't really been talking much about stats too much in this video just because I don't want to keep it too long. But I mean, bro, the guy's a 1.2, a walking 1.2 with an SMG. And that is a very hard thing to do, especially when you actually watch what he's doing on the map. The guy's like a robot. He is the second coming of SKump, guys. Like I said, everyone knows how good SKump is. Newsflash, you know who my number 1 is for top 5 SMGs of all time. But you remember how talented and how consistent he was at just like, it seemed like he would somehow top event after event after event. He just kept getting better. And that's the same way I look at Simp. So yeah, he's young. You know, he's young. He has a lot left in his career, a lot left in the tank. And he doesn't have the longevity as some of these other guys. But man, his peak, it's hard to argue. I think his peak is higher than everyone else on this list besides number 1. So it might be a little bit early of a call to put him this high. And you know what? It probably is. Y'all might have some different opinions on that, but I'm very high on Simp, man. I think when it's all said and done, he's going to go down easily top 2 SMG player all time. If you want to, you know, say top 3, I'll let top 3 slide, but no lower than that. And that's saying something, because when you look at Skump's track record, man, to have him be right behind him, you got to be something special. This SKump is like Michael Jordan of the SMG role. And I think Simp's right there as LeBron James. I do. So I have Simp coming in number 2, guys. But as for number 1, y'all already knew who it was before you even clicked on this video. And it is the king. It is SKump. I can't even say much about him, man. You guys know Skump's been doing this shit for a long time. One of the greatest Call of Duty players of all time. Hands down the best SMG player of all time. You know, he has had just historical runs of being the best player. Not even talking about the best SMG player in these Call of Duty titles. He's just had a run of being the best player. You know, insane amount of MVPs, amount of wins. He has a COD champs win, and he's just performing at a very high level for damn near what, like a decade now. He's the king for a reason, man. That's his nickname. I don't know if we'll ever see anyone kind of catch his records or, you know, pass him as the best SMG player of all time. Who knows? I think if we're talking someone who has the potential, it could be SKump, but he still has a lot of career left in him before we even consider that. SKump, man, he's different. He's just different. He's been doing this. He doesn't really have any faults to his game. I think the only negative is maybe his effort from time to time if he doesn't enjoy the game, because guys, SKump is a Call of Duty gamer. He just loves COD. He loves the game in its simplest form. You know, he could just hop on and grind pubs for 8 hours a day for most of the COD games. But yeah, SKump's got to be the best sub of all time, in my opinion. I don't think it's close, man. You gotta show love to him. That's my guy, and he's still killing it to this day. I mean, you look at Cold War, man. SKump looks fantastic. And if you want to say, oh yeah, well, he's not as good as he was, I mean, maybe, you know, the competition's got better, but his talent's still there. You know, he still has all of the tools to be the best SMG player in the game. Obviously, you got to give love to the new guys, the up and coming guys, but I still think SKump has the potential to be the best SMG player in Cold War. I do. You know, it's going to be a lot harder now than it was in past CODs, but you got to give it up to him, man. You got to, I tip it. When you look back at his career, man, he could quit right now. Hands down, the greatest SMG player of all time. Hands down, a top 4 Call of Duty player of all time. Probably top 3, honestly. But yeah, so he's had a fantastic career. He's had a fantastic career, man, and you got to give him love. All you Optic fucking fans out there that always cook me, say that I hate the Optic players. You know, I'm a Optic fucking hater. I got your king at number 1 in top 5 SMGs of all time. But that is the list, guys. Thank you so much. Y'all already know I appreciate the love. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We're so close to 25,000 subs on the tube. Until next video, stay safe, stay healthy. I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all, man. Deuces.